It's a happy day. Hey everyone, and welcome to my video here about the next subject we have to talk about, how we will configure an Azure site with PowerShell. And that's why it's a happy day, because we will have some fun here with the PowerShell configuration. It's really such an awesome tool. Just wait and see. So the last time we created this site-to-site tunnel on the Azure, we used the Azure Resource Manager portal, the website tool that they have created, and that's pretty useful. It's a pretty useful tool, so we can use that. But when we have to repeat the steps, maybe every week or every day or something like that, it's very useful to make some commands or scripts that we can use over and over again. But before we begin with using the PowerShell for Azure, you can see we have PowerShell is always installed, but we have to have the tool for the Azure so we can run commands on the Azure side. Actually, I heard the other day that PowerShell have been here for 10 years, so it's have been here quite a long time. And there are many commandlets nowadays we can use for the things we want to manage. So it's a great thing to know something about PowerShell when we are going through this configuration of the site-to-site tunnel. So I want to point out that I have some commands over here: get command, get help, get member. There's some useful tools to get deeper into the commandlets and for how they are working, the functionality of each commandlet. So to use them, we can try some of them in a minute. But else we have to install Azure for the resource manager. We can also install the old classic, but this is the new. It's pretty quite easy on the Windows 10. We can just do it in PowerShell by typing the install module and point to the AzureRM, and it will install. On the older machines, we have to download this PowerShell model for Azure. After that, we have to create a connection to the site we want to manage, and you can get some further information about the next commands. But the main commands we have to use to create the things we want is over here. We have to create the resource group, the virtual networks, local network gateway, the public IP addresses. We want to create the main virtual gateway, network gateway, and create a connection between these networks and our on-premise side. So that's the purpose for this video. So let's get into it and see how we can do this. So let's get to the PowerShell commands, what we have to do. And first I will say that we have this two different kind of tools or consoles that we can use. And the normal console, here's our Windows PowerShell console, is pretty straight away as a normal command prompt, so we can do a lot of stuff. When we have to configure, I will suggest that when you are creating scripts and working a lot of with PowerShell, the PowerShell ISE is very useful for creating a lot of things with the PowerShell. You can see it's very colorful and tell us and make it easy for us to read the PowerShell. It's it will helping us fulfill the command. I can show you that in a moment. But first, the normal PowerShell. As I told, we have this 3 command or 4, because we have to start with install our module for Azure Resource Manager if we haven't done that at first. You can just maybe write a name, and I don't know if it can fulfill can't autofill, but we can type here Azure Resource Manager and press enter. I actually have installed it, so it should just skip this step, but it will normally download and install everything for us. And remember to connect to Azure, and again we have to do that with the login Azure resource account. You can press enter. If you use it in a script, you can just give it all the parameters and you can do it automatically. I have to log in here. If I can remember my credential. And you will see it get my subscription. I only have this free trial, so yeah, it's actually work. But if you have different kind of subscription, choose the one you want to use. By this Get Azure subscription and select your Azure Resource Manager subscription. To have a look at the command that Azure have, you can use this get command. If I can type right, use your asterisk, and I often type AzureRM, and then we can see, oh, that's a lot of commands here. Actually, I can count this when I pipe it to the measure object command. We can see there are over 1200 different Azure Resource Manager commands. So if we want to look deeper into that, we can, and I can show here the alias for get command. Type Azure Resource Manager. Maybe we want something about a connection. Again the asterisk. Now you can see there are some different kind of commands. After that, if you want to get deeper into that, use the get help. Again, we can take this here. Maybe. Wooden, not AzureRM. What do we have? Virtual network. Something. Just press enter. We will get a short help information with the name and syntax, short description. But we can get further information. It have detailed. It has full. We can see it in a window. Show window. And it will tell us all this thing. We can see some example how to configure the with this commandlet. So use the get help also, by the way, and as I told you, can use this get member. Normally it could be in the way as get AzureRM. What shall we say? Resource group. Oh, resource group. Pipe it to get member. And it will tell us what properties and method is in the inside of this commandlet. There's not much here, but we can see the location, provision state, resource group, and it's a great way to know what kind of things this command can do here. So use that, but yeah, take a look, investigate PowerShell. let's go ahead with the configuration of the tunnel itself. Yeah, let's use this other tool, and before we are typing any command, again we have to, for each console, we have to log in to the Azure. So just type login Azure Resource Manager, do it again all the way. Let's see how it works. It was fine here. So now I log in and I can type all my commands. The first command we have to type is creating this, actually creating the resource group. It's pretty easy. By highlighting this command, I can just type F8 and it will run only this marked script, this marked part here. So let's see that, and it runs down and it has created it. See, we could also have been typing this by say Azure, and actually if I press Ctrl J, yeah, it will help us. No, not J, Control space. It should help us by choosing the right command. Yeah, and we can press enter and so on. So it's also a great way to work with this. When we have created the resource group, now we want to create the virtual network. The virtual network have two subnets, and it have this main overall prefix for the site. The two subnets we have to create, we have to start with creating this as a new Azure Virtual Network SubnetConfig and subnet 1 name here. I have this little backtick. It only means that I can continue on the next line, as it was just one line. So the first subnet we want to give the 10.1.00/24. I want to use this object later, as you can see down here, so I can create it at once and put it in a variable so I can use it later. So let's do that by pressing F8. It has created the configuration for the subnet, put it all in the subnet 1 variable. The next we have to do, and this is of course for our virtual machines and the resource we have to put in the virtual network. The other network we have to create here is the gateway subnet, the subnet that are on the VPN tunnel. It's defined that network where the traffic is in transit. So let's create that. Again, press F8, and again we are creating the configuration, putting it into the variable here, gateway subnet, so we can use it again. And then we have to create the virtual network itself, and for that we are using this virtual network command. I want to create this virtual network, but also I have to use the object later again, so I put it in a variable here again. So what you can see is that I'm giving it name, North Europe Virtual Network, put it in the resource group name we created before, again in North Europe. We have to point at the location, and we have to point at the upper address prefix for the whole site, and here it is the 10.1/16 subnet. And then I tell it what subnet is in this virtual network, and the subnet we have defined before is the subnet 1 and the gateway subnet. So this will be joined together and it will create the virtual network. So let's press F8, and can see it will execute the command and try to create the virtual network. It can take a little moments, shouldn't take long, but let's see. Hopefully it will be okay. And we give it a little moment again here. Or yes, there was. So it was pretty fast. So now we have created the virtual network. The next thing you can, if you take a look at the when we create this with the portal sites, we did things in another way. Here we will create the virtual network gateway now. It's the gateway we have to use with the virtual gateway and creating all this kind of stuff and using the address for the local site. So let's create this again. I want to use this new created object later, so I put it in a variable. As you can see, the command is Azure New-AzureRMResourceGroup. We will give the name. I have shortened it a little bit for North Europe Local Net Gateway 1 in the resource group and at the location. And then we have to point at the on-premises public site IP address. Here the gateway IP address is the public IP address for on-premise site. So type that in, and we have to define the network on the local site, on our on-premise site. So we define that. At our Azure site we use the 10.1, and at our local site we use 10.0 network. So let's run that command, pressing F8. Again, we will see it. It will take a short time to create this local network. Just have to wait and see. Let's give it a moment here. Yes, so why do we have to give this information? Of course, to create a tunnel, it have to know where the destination is, but it also have to know how to put different kind of traffic in which direction. So we have to tell for the routing what network is on the other end of the tunnel. So we do that with this command here. The next thing we have to do is to request a public IP address for our site at the Azure. We do that with the New-AzureRMVirtualNetworkPublicIPAddress commandlet. Again, we put it in a variable because we want to use the object in a moment again. Give it a name, North Europe Gateway 1 Public IP1, just as you wish. Point of the resource group and location, and then we can have to tell the allocation method, and we have to choose between dynamic or static. We just choose the dynamic. It won't change often, so that should be fine for now. So press F8 here. Let's run this command. And let's see. Again, it should only take a few seconds to create this object here for the public IP address. it's finished, and we can go to the next step. See, the next step we have to create this virtual network gateway IPconfig. We have to, what shall I say, joining the information about the local network, the gateway subnet, and the public IP address before we will use it in creating the virtual network itself. So I have to use this command here to get the information. I have to use this. So press F8. It go pretty fast. I have now updated the gateway subnet variable. So let's join the local network, the gateway subnet, and the public IP address, and create the configuration of the gateway IP for that. Press F8, and it's also pretty fast. Have now created the information in the gateway IP config variable, and we can now create the virtual network gateway itself, the part that takes some time. I have written here often 30 minutes or more. So I have typed the get date here and semicolon because I want to state out this is one line, but it will help me to see how long will it take, because it will start and it will end by printing the date and time, so I can see when it starts and when it ends the command. For creating the virtual network gateway, we have to use this virtual network gateway command. Give it a name, point at the resource group, choose a location, set the IP configurations that we just created here. We have to choose a gateway type, and we choose VPN. Maybe you can remember there was this kind of VPN or express route. We have to choose the VPN type, route base we will choose here, and you could choose, I think it was policy based. Then we have to choose a payment type, and we just take the cheapest one that is basic. And, I can't remember the other types, but you can see at the Microsoft pages what different kind you can choose. So let's mark it all and press F8 to run it, and we can see it started with writing the time, and it will now execute and create this virtual network gateway for us. So let's give it some time, and we will come back when it's finished. So we will pause the video from here. So it's actually finished creating the virtual network gateway, and as we can see, it started at 10:35 and it has been taking 42 minutes or something like 42 minutes. So that's that. And the last thing we have to do after this is create the VPN connection itself, and the command we're using for this is the new Azure Resource Manager Virtual Network Gateway Connection, and we actually give this a name, choose our resource group again, and location. We're using the objects or configuration from the virtual network gateway we just have created here, the main gateway, and then we have to point at the local network gateway. We created that earlier. I think it was here. Nope, it was not. It was up here. We created the local network gateway, and Then we have to choose our connection type. It's an IPsec. We have to choose a routing weight and set it to 10. If you have more than one connection, you can tell which is preferred by a lower number. And then we have the shared key that have to be identical on both sides. So let's run this command and see if we can get the connection up and running. And again, yeah, it, as told, it used the two objects, the virtual network gateway and the local network gateway. So by binding these two together, and on the local gateway we have the public IP address, means that it all come together and create the VPN tunnel. Let's give it some time here, and we can see there it's all look fine. We have, I think, got a new public IP address, and that address we have to update on our on-premise site on the firewall and the VPN tunnel. So to get the public IP address of this Azure connection, we can run a command that says, I think it's something like AzureRM public IP address. I also think you have to choose the resource group, and the resource group is actually the same as here, so let's copy paste it. Press enter. I only have one connection, or else I could choose the name. So I have the public IP address here. It's the, which one is it? IP address, public IP version. It must be that IP address. So let's try this. Take it to our firewall. I have already been opening here and put it in our phase 1 configuration. Paste it in and save this. Apply the changes. It's already enabled, and so it should be possible to see for some time here. Oops. It was not just an update of the browser, but it was more a restart of the service, so we have to wait now for this to connect again. Hopefully it will be ready in a moment. What's happened here? Collecting. It's not too pretty. I'm not too happy, I think, the sites. Let's pause the video. Yeah, see, I'm not sure that we choose the right IP address. So let's take a look again on the statement there. Or it says IP address. Maybe it's just too different. It's of course I have for the VM machine also. Yeah, that's great. So anyway, remember to take the name on the command here. Name. It will do everything a lot easier. So you can see it was the 100 here, 104 address. Back to our IPsec configuration, if it's possible, if it's not have been crazy about what I have been done. Again, I will return when everything is up and running here. So actually, back here to the site. It took some time, but everything should be okay again. Did not get the right IP address. Let's copy this and paste this into here, and hopefully this should be the right public IP address of the gateway on the Azure side. Let's go to the status here, and see the IPsec. Oh yeah, now it's established. And yeah, that will say that we can try to see, can we get the status of the connection here, and the command is of course get Azure Resource Manager, and it's the virtual network gateway connection. Gateway connection, we will take a look at the resource group. And we can also, yeah, let's just try to see here what it says, connection status. We could also have been choosing the name, that is the connection name that we named as North Europe Site-to-Site. But again, it will take some time to have that up and running. And if we just should see here, connection time, I will pause again the video, and we have to wait a few minutes, and it will be okay. Let's try to run the command again and see connection status. Nope, maybe we have to use the name again, and this was North Europe Site-to-Site. Oh yeah, and there it says the connection status connected. So that's great. Let's try to see if we could ping through the network. We can go to the virtual machine on our Azure side, and it have an public IP address, and we should be possible to connect with this remote desktop connection here. And the username was my user, and the password. It's here. Yes. Let's connect to that machine. And you can see that's the public IP address I used at first on the on-premise site. It has detected something. Let's try to ping. Oh, that's a tiny font we use there. 20, okay. IPConfig, let's see. Our own IP address is the 10.1.0.4, just as expected. So we can try to ping. I have on the local on-premise network 10.0.0.230, our server there. So that's fine. Everything is great and it's all work. So that was the command for, what shall I say, the Azure PowerShell creation of the Site-to-Site VPN tunnel. So I'm just happy here. Thank you for watching. My name is Jesper Black. I hope we will see each other on another video.